Hi.
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 Hi. I'm Rexy Pukinikin.
I'm Rexy Pukinikin.
I'm Rexy Pukinikin. And we're balling. And we're balling.
And we're balling.
Today. Tomorrow.
And maybe yesterday.
At what cost?
At what cost?
At what cost? Woo!
Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Ballin at What Cost. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro. Did a little small edit. See if it's probably not the final draft, but it's freaking November now, and that means pretty much like winter here in Finland, and no freaking sunshine, and sunsets at 4 in the afternoon. So I'm gonna be recording in the dark from now on, which kind of sucks. Ideally I could try to get the recording done before the sun sets down, but it's very impossible. I'm a busy man. And today, I've been hung like a skunk, so yeah, I'm gonna be real loose this episode. I'm just gonna let stuff fly. I'm not gonna think too much about all that. I'm wearing some freaking, just hit some yoga up, and I was like, all right, let's just get to recording, Anyways, I'll just get straight into it. This week, the past week, there was a good amount of NFL, like always, and there was a lot of stuff happening in the NBA. But if we're talking about F1 side or UFC side, not the most eventful. But I'll get into the eventful stuff first. So NFL, I guess the league is just owned by the Philly Eagles right now. No one can fuck with the Philly Eagles. They're 7-0. Jalen Hurts is balling out. That's all I gotta say. And shout out to Jason Kelce too, because he's been killing it on the podcast lately, and the podcast he has with his brother, the famous Travis Kelce, best tight end in the world. They're doing like a podcast together, and it's really, really funny, and they're really trying to promote the crap out of it too. So really like that. Like to see that. Some of the top headlines last week. First of all, told you guys all about how Christian McCaffrey finally got the hell out of the Panthers and ended up in beautiful San Fran in the 49ers. And that happened last week. And last episode I talked about it real quick. And turns out the 49ers made a really, really, really good move, because CMC, Christian McCaffrey himself, not only was he passing, he was also rushing and receiving. He was receiving, rushing, passing, rushing, receiving, passing. He was doing all of it. He was running back. He was a wide receiver. He was a quarterback. In one game. And then 49ers were going against Rams too. Rams got pretty good defense. Nope. Even the best defense, one of the best defenses in the league, can't stop this guy right now. So I am so hyped. He is the only reason that I even remotely give a shit about 49ers now. Yeah, I know I like to troll around about Jimmy G, but I don't really actually give a fuck about him, right? He's just it's kind of funny just to troll on him. But yeah, and CMC fucking dates like a dime piece. Forgot what her name was. Olivia something. Like, dude, that guy's balling out. Off court and on court, you know what I'm saying? He's crazy. 3 touchdowns. 3 different types of touchdowns, bro. So just keep it up, because then I'm actually going to watch those 49ers games. Otherwise, I wouldn't. So just keep it up, Christian. Keep it up. Next thing I got to talk about. Wait, I gotta make sure I'm loose for this. It's been a while since I've hit this way. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's fucking ride, baby. Woo! Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence in London. I'm just saying, dude, you know, talk about overcoming diversity, you know, the jet lag and everything like that. And you still do. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, dude. That was a beautiful game. I watched the whole thing. And, dude, I get hyped watching Russell Wilson do his thing. And this game, he finally was able to do his thing. Every now and then, runs a few yards for the first down, like he used to do back in the Seahawks days. And then there was one moment in like the fourth quarter, pretty much, where it was like, I think it was like tied up. And then it was third down. And then no, it wasn't third down. It was first down. But the only way they were gonna be able to, you know, do something with the game is if they made that one more, you know. Sorry, that drive was like the biggest drive of the night, and they get a timeout. Russell Wilson talks with the coach real quick with his wide receiver, comes back, first down, just straight flings that motherfucker, you know, and gets caught, and they take the lead and all that. So it was wonderful seeing that. I regret. Hey, I was in London last intro. I'm a little bit sad I wasn't there. You know, I could have, maybe. But anyways, we're anytime the Broncos and Russell Wilson take a dub, then no problem. We'll keep it going. We'll keep the hype train going now. Yeah. It's like I had to be silent for a little couple of weeks, you know, because they lost like 3 times in a row. And then all they were doing was bashing with Russell Wilson. And that's the thing. Now Russell Wilson won. No, Denver Broncos won. There was like one post about Broncos beat. It's not even Russell Wilson beats. It's just Broncos beat the Jaguars. But then as soon as they fucking start losing, oh my God. There's like 5,000 posts. Oh my God. Russell Wilson, he's washed. He's so corny. He's so, he can't do anything offensively. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Sports media, fuck you. That's how I feel. So, Broncos country, we keep on riding, all right? And talking about the past, Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith, I'm telling you, I almost want to mention Seahawks every single fucking week now, because Geno Smith is still balling out. Still balling out with the Seahawks boys, you know. They beat the Giants. Giants were 6-1, I think, when they came into the week. Let me search it up. Yeah, they were 6-1. They were 6-1, and Seahawks were 4-3. And Seahawks, I wouldn't say dominate, but Seahawks beat them 27-13, so it was definitely one-sided, I'll tell you that. So right now it's Geno Mania. I think I want to at least believe that the Seahawks are more than likely they can just keep this pace up. You know, I really think so. Like, why not? They obviously have figured stuff out. And offensively, they've always had weapons. I think everyone was just kind of like worried about if Geno Smith is going to do well, and he is. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, and everyone else supporting him is doing what they're supposed to do. So I think Seattle Seahawks, they're a very legitimate team now, and just shout out to Pete Carroll. Shout out Pete Carroll, bro. He didn't let Russell Wilson leaving him, kick him down. He almost came back stronger. He came back stronger. Yeah. Like the Seattle Seahawks, they weren't this strong last year at all. So let's go. I'm so hyped to watch the Seahawks just take more wins and a couple more, upsets and all that. Trade deadline headlines. Because the trade deadline just happened a few days ago. Today's Thursday. I think it was like Tuesday. That means a bunch of teams got to make their moves if they want to make any moves. And top headlines about trades was first, Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool is getting sent to Chicago to the Bears. That's good. That's very good. Justin Fields needs a little bit of help right now. Needs a lot of help right now. And I think Chase Claypool, he's going to get a good amount of stuff done. It's been like he's a little bit rocky sometimes in Steelers, but I don't know. I think it's just because Mike Tomlin likes to run his wide receivers a little different. He really likes to mix and match a lot. So I think if Chase Claypool can be like the number one wide receiver in the Bears, then he's gonna have more than a few opportunities to make a big play. So and help out in Justin Fields a little bit. And this is good. Now we get to see if Justin Fields can actually fucking fling that motherfucker, with accuracy, instead of just kind of not being so epic right now. Having a rough season. I ain't gonna lie. All right, next one. We have a tight end that got traded. We have T.J. Hawkinson that was in the Detroit Lions. He's moving to Vikings. This is very interesting because I feel like T.J. Hawkinson had a lot to offer for the Detroit Lions offense. But I think he has more to offer for the Vikings offense because the Vikings, they don't play a tight end, They just play wide receivers and running backs. They literally don't like playing a tight end. So this is going to be, I think this might be like the riskiest move because it's just like you don't know how well the coaches can implement it. The offensive coaches could implement a tight end into their strategy. But then again, it's like it's better to have like that additional tool that you could start developing than just not having like a tight end at all. So T.J. Hawkinson to the Vikings, and let's just hope that this just gives them better chances. But I mean, Vikings are solid anyways. But I think it's also they just. I think they just don't want to just always try to throw it to just Justin Jefferson or just let Dalvin Cook run it. I think they want like another option. So it's a good move. Good move. I'll rate it like a B plus. Yeah. And then lastly, and there was a lot of trades, but these are just. I picked out 3 to mention because, I mean, we out here. Chase Edmonds, running back. He goes from Miami to the Broncos. And yes, the Broncos need the help. They don't run the ball. They don't run like Russell Wilson runs the ball if he has to. And Chase Edmonds had a good season with the Cardinals the year before, And then it went kind of under the radar that he got traded to the Dolphins this season. And then I'm guessing, yeah, I mean, I think the Dolphins are pretty set on running backs. They have Raheem Mostert there. And I think Raheem Mostert is a little bit more talented. So I think, yeah, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt Miami Dolphins at all to let Chase go, and now it's just gonna help the Broncos out. I mean, you guys know, anything that can help Russell Wilson out, that's great. That's fucking great. So, yeah. Chase Edmonds, hopefully you get down to business, and just try to help the Broncos out because they're struggling a little bit. Just a little bit. And, yeah. Remember last week, guys? When I said that the Raiders and the Saints matchup could be a really competitive matchup and a fun one to watch and very equal with skill, with the ending score. I was like, yo, they are going to battle it out. Turns out I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I was utterly, abysmally, horribly wrong because the Saints ended up completely fucking the fucking Raiders. Like, the Saints really just gave it to the Raiders. Gave it to Derek Carr. Devontae Adams scored like fucking one fantasy point, which made me disgusted because he's my fucking team. He's like the guy who I depend on to score big. Like, Saints 24-0'd the Raiders. Like, that's bad. We're talking about the Saints who have they just switch between 3 quarterbacks all the time. Like switch between Andy Dalton and fucking Jameis Winston. Oh shit, what the fuck? Why is a tight end all of a sudden a quarterback in Taysom Hill? So that was not good. I really got pissed off that I almost wanted to trade Devontae Adams instantly because I was like, dude, it doesn't even matter how good Devontae Adams is because Derek Carr is absolute dog shit and he cannot fling anything. He can't do anything with the best wide receiver in the goddamn league. He can't do anything, man. 24-0, dude. It's bad. It's so bad. So, I don't blame. I mean, not blame anything, but I mean, of course it was difficult. This matchup was difficult on the day because Alvin Kamara, he was having a field day. He was going off. I think he scored 3-4 touchdowns, something crazy. Kamara was going off. Which you actually, I kind of missed because he hasn't been doing that he hasn't been doing it like he was doing it last year and the year before that. I mean, Alvin Kamara almost had an MVP season the other year. I forget if it was last year or the year before that, but no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't last year because last year it was Derrick Henry. Yeah, it was Derrick Henry running through everybody, so it was the year before that, right? But still, okay, yes, if Alvin Kamara pops off, it's pretty hard to do something about it. But please, if the defense can't play okay, just let the offense play okay at least. Why the donut? Why the zero? And this is where we're talking about Raiders, dude. The Raiders fans, dude, Somebody check on freaking the Raiders' mental health right now. It's not good. It's not good. I think I'm just going to say I hope Alvin Kamara keeps this streak up. It's really good to see that he still got it in him to absolutely dominate. And he was dominant a few years ago. 2 years ago, he was genuinely dominant. So that's good to see, but Raiders, get your shit together, please. Just please. I'm hanging on to Devontae Adams for 2 more fucking weeks. 2 more weeks. 2 more weeks, and if Devontae Adams in these next 2 weeks, he doesn't score a total of 50 points, I'm dropping him. I'll trade him off for fucking any other wide receiver, because every other wide receiver at least has a guy that can throw to them. Okay? And matchups I think you should focus on for week 9. These are Alexi Pukanikan takes, certified takes. Chargers versus Falcons is going to be a competitive matchup. And this one's going to be a competitive matchup for sure. I think the only way it isn't competitive is if Keenan Allen goes off. And he's returning this week. But otherwise, the Falcons are pretty freaking lit right now. They're number 1 in the NFC South. They're number 1 seed in the NFC South. They're kind of lit right now. They have a really legitimate defense. So why not? If they can contain Justin Herbert's arm, or they can contain Keenan Allen, then I think this is going to be a very competitive matchup. I really think so. So, Calvin Ridley, the wide receiver in the Falcons, he did get traded out though. Forget which team that was. Can't remember right now, but sorry guys. But I still think it's going to be a real competitive matchup, and if we're talking about win-loss records, they're pretty much at the same level right now. I think. Wait, hold up, let me check. Sorry about that. Just got some music stuck in my head. Wait, what am I doing? Chargers. Oh, Chargers had a bye week last week. Damn it. Damn it. Sorry, this is loading right now. DC is loading. Okay, so Chargers are 4-3. Chargers are 4-3, and Falcons are 4-4. So there you go. Pretty much. One less loss, but they're pretty much even. So very competitive matchup in my opinion coming up. So I'm going to be looking at that game closely. Next one, a little battle of the birds. We got Cardinals versus Seahawks. Like I said, I think I'm just going to talk about the Seahawks and Geno Smith every single week, because this is a very competitive matchup, I think. Kyler Murray, he likes to fling it out to DeAndre Hopkins, Seahawks. Geno Smith likes to fling it out to Lockett or DK Metcalf. I do think DK Metcalf is out for that game. I think it might just be Lockett, but still, we're talking about 2 teams that really just like to let the ball fly. So I think, of course, I'm gonna say Seahawks are gonna take it, but you never know. Kyler Murray he's not doing that bad. I did kind of, because they got beat by the Vikings last week, but it was still a close-ish game, right? They lost by 8 points. It's not that bad, right? I think, especially I feel like Cardinals have that kind of thing where it's just they lost last week, so they really have to get a win this week. So I don't know, but either way, I hope the ball gets thrown a lot, and probably will, and I'll be watching closely. I'll be watching very, very closely. Next one, this is going to be a hot take, but if you know, you know. Commanders versus Vikings. You're like, no, don't say it. Don't fucking say it. Don't you dare. If Taylor Heineke starts, is the starting quarterback, and he is rumored, or it's most likely that he will be the starting quarterback in this game, the Commanders are upsetting fucking Vikings. I don't care. If I don't care about the odds, I don't care about nothing. I don't care about jack. All I care about and all I know is that when Taylor Heineke is the quarterback, you're not going to lose because he's the GOAT. He's the best. He's the best in the world. He's basically Patrick Mahomes, but like costs a lot less. That's my opinion. Hey, yo, listen. Taylor Heineke, he started as a quarterback last week, right? They beat the Colts. Boom. You go to week 7. He started that game too. They beat the Packers. Before that, they were fucking losing. Fuck that Carson Wentz motherfucker. But Taylor Heineke, when he's the starting quarterback, you win. You win the game. So next week, when I tell you guys how next week's episode, when I tell you guys, oh my God, look at this. Commanders just upset the Vikings. And Taylor Heineke's the GOAT. Yeah, I was right all along. I knew it all along. I have the vision. And Taylor Heineke, that man is special. That man is bad. So I don't have a doubt. I don't have a single bit of doubt in my body that Commanders couldn't upset the Vikings. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the upsets that I think is going to happen next week. And another one, and this is kind of like an obvious one, is that the Panthers versus Bengals. The Panthers defense can beat the shit out of the Bengals offense, and we all know it isn't that difficult to beat the Bengals this year. If your defense plays the right way, the Bengals, they got nothing. They got nothing to give you, right? Because that offensive line is historically horrible. They cannot protect Joe Burrow. Last week, Browns and Myles Garrett just ran through Bengals. Ran through Joey Burr. You know? So, basically, if Panthers do the same thing, Bengals can't do shit about it. So, it's very likely that the Panthers could still upset, even though fucking half of the Panthers' offense is gone too. But, like, you know, very, very possible. Very, very possible. And, yeah, I don't want to see it. I just have to say it. You know, I don't want to see it. I really don't. I don't like seeing Joey Burrow lose. I think Joey Burrow's from the last 2 years, he's the best quarterback that we have. Like, I think he's better than whatever everyone says about Trey Lance, Justin Fields. Who else is Zach Wilson. Joey Burrow is obviously the best one out of all those guys. And the fact that he was able to go to the fucking Super Bowl after, like, coming back from an injury in his rookie season. This guy's a bad motherfucker. But right now, no one can protect him. And it makes me kind of sad. It really does. But Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's a bit tragic, but I had to say it. Panthers can upset the Bengals, and I think this is not even that hot of a take because I think a lot of people expect this upset. It's just kind of like, yeah. But if the Panthers do like one thing correct, then the Bengals are screwed, and that's just the story of the Bengals this season, which is a little bit unfortunate. Anyways, that's all I had to say for the NFL the past week and the upcoming week. We're almost halfway through the season, the regular season. And it's very interesting how the standings are shaping up. But I think I'm not going to worry about it too much right now because, every division is actually pretty evened up. It's kind of cool to see. Like, yeah, it's pretty much, because there were other seasons where, like, you'd be at, like, week 12 or something, and there's still, like, 3-4, like, undefeated teams. So it's good to see everything a lot more even this year, a lot more competitive, and we'll see how it shapes out. I'll keep you guys posted on how it shapes out. All right, so, well, see, this is the thing. I'll talk about F1 because there was a race, but, like, I don't even know why I watched this race. Like, that's the mentality I have. It was not so fun of a race. Not much happened at all. The only thing that was happening was Daniel Ricciardo. And that's fucking surprising too. Like, out of everything happening, Daniel Ricciardo's doing something. Yeah. I don't know. He must have done a line of coke before he fucking drove into that car, man. Or like got into his car, because he drove into another car to start off his madman run of a race. He first freaking takes out this poor little Jap, right? And then, sorry if that was a little too offensive. Sorry. This not so tall Japanese man in Yuki Tsunoda, he just freaking took that guy out in like one of the biggest lunges I've ever seen, in Mexico. And not even in turn one. It was in the second sector, the freaking, pretty much the hairpin or double right turn. I don't know. But yeah, Ricardo was on one because after he took Yuki Tsunoda out, he just decided to go even more ham. I don't know. Something happened. I think something about his grid position or track position, something. He was just constantly like in a position to just send it down the starting straight or like the long straight and then just send it down turn one. He was going crazy. He made actually a pretty big comeback too. He was down like, yeah, I don't even think he got out of Q1 on Saturday, and then freaking just goes absolutely crazy. Goes on this madman run, just taking over people, fucking everything. He got driver of the day, everything. Like, holy crap. Great. Great. I mean, I don't think that's going to give him a seat for next season, but, at least he's got that dog in him still, which is awesome, which is freaking awesome. And I'm just going to say this. Daniel Ricciardo's career is only going to get bigger after he retires from F1. He's got that personality. He's got that entertainment value. So, yeah. All those Danny Rick lovers, y'all chill. There's no problem. He's in God's hands now, So, that's great. That was like the one great thing about Mexico. But otherwise, it was pretty boring. Yeah, Verstappen wins. Mercedes chalk up the strategy, or I'm not. Well, not even necessarily that they chalked it, but it's just like they didn't even try anything. They were just determined, which is so weird, because they really need a win before the season ends. That was the third last race of the season, and I was so surprised that they're just so determined that, oh no, there's only one way, one strategy, and then they stuck with it, and then they screwed Lewis Hamilton. They screwed Lewis Hamilton and screwed George Russell. So yeah, it's too bad. I don't know what's gonna happen, but all I know is Lewis Hamilton is gonna freaking win Brazil. Like, he has to, easily. It's in a few weeks, so I'll probably. It's in. No. It's next week. Okay, so I'll talk about it in next week's episode. The Brazilian race, the Brazil race that's coming up. But yeah, Lewis Hamilton. They freaking love Lewis Hamilton in Brazil. They love him. They have Lewis Hamilton. Now that there's no Brazilian driver on the grid, the Lewis Hamilton's Brazilian now. You know what I'm saying? He's one of them now. So, and he's been historically very, very good in Brazil. So I think he has everything. He has all the ingredients to win that race. And Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT. So there's no way he's going to go through a season without winning. So, and I'll tell you though, there's also clips of him talking to the press and, saying that like he really wants to make a new deal with Mercedes. Like, he doesn't want to fucking go anywhere. He really doesn't. I'm telling you, Merc literally could barely get out of Q1 or Q2, or they barely ever got out of Q2 at the start of the season, and now they're fighting for the win and getting very, very consistent podiums. I mean, okay, yes, George Russell's been doing that pretty much most of the season, but still, like, they have Mercedes is still the powerhouse they used to be. They just got off to a slow start, so Lewis Hamilton wins it in Brazil, gets the contract extension. I mean, I truly think the most consistent duo on the grid right now is Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Like, they're always stuck together. They're never completely apart, because sometimes you'll get Charles Leclerc does pretty well, Sainz is struggling, or you have Verstappen doing really well and Perez is struggling. But with Mercedes, it's just sometimes it's Lewis Hamilton, sometimes it's George Russell. George Russell scored more podiums and more points than Lewis Hamilton, but they're still there. Like, if we're talking about speed wise, they're pretty much the same. In qualifying, they're pretty much stuck together, and during the race, they're pretty much stuck together too. So, yeah. I have a lot of faith in the Mercedes team. But otherwise, just please stop being boring again, Mexico, because the fans were great. The crowd was great there. They were getting lit, but the race was a little bit questionable. All right, UFC wise, there was a fight night. But not too many big names, and I was a little bit busy, so I skipped on to the fight night. And not too disappointed on skipping it out either, because the main event, it was Qatar and Allen. I do not remember their first names, but I'm sorry. Yeah, especially the Allen one. I forget. Yeah, it was Calvin Qatar and some Allen kid. Qatar freaking has a knee injury, and that's the main event. So in the fight, he gets a knee injury. That was the main event, so I'm not too disappointed that I skipped that one out. But if we're talking about UFC, Anderson Silva fought in a boxing match with Jake Paul, and I don't even know why I'm mentioning this, but I'm going to put this out there because I feel like it's very important to put out there. I don't like Jake Paul. Yes, he is carrying boxing right now. He really is. Like, boxing is a great sport, but recently, after Mike Tyson, what was the biggest name? There were some killers, but then, I feel like nothing's been as big as Mike Tyson in boxing ever since. So I guess, yes, okay, Jake Paul is at least bringing light to boxing, but it's like it isn't the highest level of boxing, though. That's the problem I have. It's like it is boxing, but it's not the highest level of boxing. And he just keeps he shits on UFC and mixed martial arts guys, and then claims that he's helping them out by fighting them and offering them money. And then it just goes back to shitting on MMA guys and UFC guys. And then I also saw a stat. Anderson Silva got paid like $800K from the pay-per-view. And Jake Paul is an advocate on, or often just talks so much shit to Dana White about how the UFC fighter pay is so low. You paid Anderson Silva $800K to box with you. And Anderson Silva used to get paid at least $1 million every time he fought in the UFC. So, I don't know, dude. It just doesn't click right with me. And the fact that, it's rigged. It is rigged. I'm sorry. The way, okay, yeah, it might not be rigged, but it is rigged. It doesn't take a dummy to figure out, oh, okay, he's just gonna make more money the more he wins, right? And then there's more people that just want to see him lose. He's doing basically what Floyd Mayweather did, except he's not actually a professional. What actually makes that a pro boxing match? What actually makes it a pro boxing match? Yeah, because I know every time he fights someone, he's gonna win. That's the thing. He's gonna win. There's no, she's gonna get beaten up, bro. There's no way. Dude. He's gonna win. Every time he's gonna win. So, I don't even know who he's fighting next, but Jake Paul's gonna beat that guy too. It's all just rigged because, dude, you put Jake Paul up with a fucking, an actual boxer, some fucking Mexican dude who's been fucking punching bags since he came out of his mother's womb. It doesn't even take a professional Mexican boxer to beat up Jake Paul. No bullshit. You can put, one of the top 10 amateur boxers from Mexico against Jake Paul. They're gonna beat the shit out of Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't he isn't I'm not saying he's bad at boxing because he's obviously training for it, for reals. I won't take that away from him, but there's levels to it. And I'm sorry, it's still a lot. I've seen too many videos of how fake those freaking knockdowns look. I'm sorry. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I just had to bring it out there because I love Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is a legend, UFC legend, a mixed martial arts legend. So I don't like it when a legend like that gets painted in a bad light. I know it's good for Anderson Silva because, boom, it's now he's better off financially. But I don't know how long I can freaking stand this Jake Paul shit because everybody takes it so seriously too. Like sports, like genuine sports media reports on it. Dude, I don't care. I don't care. Why? Why aren't they promoting? Why aren't they promoting the freaking, those amateur fights and all those actual professional fights? They don't care. It's just like all Jake Paul. Like, oh my goodness, dude. Whatever. Yeah. So that's my opinion. If you put money in Jake Paul fights, dude, put the money on Jake Paul because he's gonna win. He can't lose now. Like, that's the whole thing. So, and just so much respect for Anderson Silva because he's the GOAT. And he's such a nice guy, and all that. So I just had to talk about that real quick. I had to let that out of my chest a little bit. It kind of gets my blood boiling sometimes. But anyways, last thing I'd like to talk about, NBA, and NBA's been spicy the past week. It's been real spicy. And I fucking love the NBA. I think basketball is a beautiful game. I think there's a little bit too much fouling nowadays. It kind of fucks the pace up of the basketball game, but I know that's just how it's getting played nowadays, and you can't really do nothing about it. Ooh, carbonated water is good. Yeah, so I guess a little week 2 recap. I said this last episode, but I'm going to say it again. I know they don't play in weeks, but I feel like there's just too many games. There's a lot of NBA games. That's the thing. I think that's, I guess, another a little criticism I have. It's just there's a lot of games. And it's not even like criticism. It's just the fact that I don't have the time to watch that many games. And there's so many teams and so many matchups that sometimes you just don't want to watch those matchups. Like, the people that are watching are the people at the stadium or like fans of like certain franchises. Otherwise, and NBA games start at 2 a.m. and the last game that starts is usually like 4:30 or 5. So not so good times for me, Poor Europeans always just gotta watch NBA at like in the middle of the night, which is a little bit sad, but whatever. Anyways, let's get down to business. There's no more donuts in LA. Woohoo! Lakers finally get a win under their belt. Holy crap! What? Yeah, they're 1-5 now instead of 0-6. Whoa! Oh my God! It's because LeBron's the GOAT. That's why they're 1-5 instead of 0-6. There was a video of players celebrating their head coach Darvin Ham in the locker room after they took the win because it was Darvin Ham's first win as a head coach. And I don't know, very nice of the players. It was a very nice gesture from the players. They respect their coach, so they gave him love and support, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that positive stuff. I really am. But there's like nothing to be positive about, kind of, ish. I don't want to be too hard because of course, it is like great for the head coach to finally have gotten a win, but it's like, dude, you weren't doing your job before until like now, and then you're getting praise from players. Like, let's say this: are we saying that the Lakers players would celebrate like Darvin Ham's first win in the locker room if they were like 0-14 or some shit, and then he finally gets a win? You think they're still gonna be like, yeah, let's go, coach, Because no. Because by then it's just like he's been screwing over the whole fucking team and organization. I was like, why the hell would we celebrate you? So I guess good that it didn't go past five losses before he got the win under the belt. So yeah, that's just kind of like a question I want to just pose, just like a perspective. It's just like, what? We're going to celebrate it? If he goes like 0-20, we're still going to celebrate him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways. But fucking, I guess good for the Lakers, man. They didn't suffer. They just, dude. I hate it. I hate it when Lakers do bad almost. Because the complaining is almost, it's worse than the winning. Like, when Lakers are winning, they're like, fuck yeah, we're the shit. But that's like almost with every team. But like with the Lakers, when they suck, there's so much complaining compared to like if other teams suck. So, yeah. Hopefully, Lakers will turn this around, and they're looking good. They just got to win last night. Freaking win an OT. So that's good. They're picking up the pace. Fingers crossed. But otherwise, I don't really care about the Lakers. I'm just talking about the Lakers because they've been sucking lately. If they were winning, I wouldn't be talking about the Lakers. I'm sorry. So I don't really care about the Lakers. Anyways, next one. This one's also a little bit like, why is so much negativity going around too? Like, okay, so Karl Anthony Towns, he's in a press conference, doing some media, and then he just all of a sudden goes like, yeah, well, I know you guys think it's all funny and all when my teammate Anthony Edwards talks about like eating Popeyes and burgers and stuff like that, but I don't think that's funny. I think and then he says something like, I think it's actually really concerning, and I don't like hearing stuff like that. And then it's just like, chill, dude. Fuck. Like, this guy's acting like he's fucking Michael Jordan or something, And even Michael Jordan had Dennis Rodman, and Dennis Rodman was a degenerate, and he was just like, yeah, all right, fine. Let him do what he wants to do, as long as he plays well. And dude, Anthony Edwards plays as well as you do, bro. If anything, a lot of people expect Anthony Edwards to be doing better, like much greater things than you kind of have done so far. You've kind of just, yeah, I guess it's just because you've stuck around in Minnesota for the whole time. I guess you have a little bit of a, God complex in the team. I don't know. Like, yeah, sure, I expect that a little bit. But it's just like, dude, Anthony, like, it's also, too, like, these guys are the healthiest people on earth. Like, anyways, you think like, eating a little bit of junk food is going to completely, like, chalk it? No. Like Ocho Cinco said. Ocho Cinco, the fucking legendary Bengals wide receiver. Dude, it doesn't matter what you eat. As long as you're still working out and all that, it doesn't really matter what you eat. Dude, Ocho Cinco used to be an advocate about eating junk food if you're an athlete. Like, it's only good for you. So, come on. Karl Anthony Towns, just let Anthony Edwards eat some fucking Popeyes chicken sandwiches, dude. And it's not that big of a fucking deal. It isn't, dude. And he's just Anthony Edwards. He's a young dude. He's just trying to be funny. What if he's actually fucking... What if he's just saying it? He's not even doing it. He's just like, yeah, I'm a fat ass. Yeah. Come on, boys. Keep it between yourselves, you know. I don't. Why you gotta make it all of a public thing? I'm such a tough guy. I don't like it when my teammates are lazy and they eat junk food. Like, come on, bro. You're just sounding a bit like a freaking Karen right now. All right. So sorry. And that's what's going on in Minnesota. But in Brooklyn, I think we got the biggest news of the week. Brooklyn. The Nets, they're firing Steve Nash. Steve Nash is gone. Yeah, I kind of expected this. It was already very fucking surprising that Steve Nash was a head coach. Like, it looks good on paper, but, like, I remember the articles and, you know, what everybody was talking about when Steve Nash got hired. They're just like, okay, well, he just kind of got the job, you know, like, out of nowhere. It's not like he was an insanely good assistant coach somewhere and then all that. No, they just kind of copped him. They're like, yeah, you get the big seat. Do what you want. And, yeah, we know how the Nets are like nowadays and even last season. So, yeah, I don't think Steve Nash did too good of a job. I like Steve Nash. Steve Nash is legendary. I love the way Steve Nash played back in the day. But he's not made for the head coach. And Brooklyn Nets, they just got so many eyes on him. So much pressure and such big expectations and so much money put in on KD and Kyrie and fucking dude. And I'm sorry, like, it's not even Nash either. Like, get Ben Simmons get Ben Simmons out of the NBA. Why is Ben Simmons still in the NBA? Realistically, what is he doing? The fact that guy won Rookie of the Season still pisses me off to this day, bro. I never liked him since, bro. Think about it. This guy won Rookie of the Year even though it wasn't his rookie season. Isn't that the most ridiculous shit you've ever heard in your life? And then now he's playing alongside KD and Kyrie Irving. And he can't even, like, give them a couple assists and shit. Like, I get it. Ben Simmons was never, like, a huge scorer. But, dude, help those guys out at least. Jesus. But, yeah, okay. I got a little off track. I don't even have that guy's fucking disgusting name on my fucking computer. But, sorry. Whoa. See how angry I get when I talk about Ben Simmons? Damn. I was on some positive stuff. Now I'm all fucking riled up. Okay. Anyways, Steve Nash gets fired. And guess who they're considering now? They're considering that Boston head coach that got fired or, like, suspended because he was hitting on some hoes in the organization. But like I said, I remember when I talked about this in episode, I forget, maybe it would have been 5 or 6. This guy still took the Boston Celtics to the finals. Like, this guy's a really good head coach, you know, even though he wants head really bad. He's a good head coach, you know, so just sign him. Brooklyn Nets, Joey Tsai, just sign him. Tell him that, yo, we'll get you a free membership to the best strip club in New York, in Brooklyn, as long as you don't hit on the women in the organization. And he's going to be chilling. You guys got to just work. They're probably, like, the problem with Boston was probably just, they were like, okay, here you go. Here's a job. Here's so many expectations that you got to do. And then he was just like, well, Okay, well, I'm doing what I'm getting told to do. I'm like winning these games, so I think I can fuck around a little bit now, and that's the problem. That's the problem. That's the only thing Nets got to figure out if they want to hire this guy. That's the only thing. They just want to be. They got to be like, yo, we want you to win us games, but at the same time, we got you. We got you. You want, we know you're a fucking dog. You're a little bit of a wild man. We got you. No worries. We got that handled for you. So, yeah, I think it would be the best move for the Nets. Obviously, the best option for a head coach, I think. Why not? Why not? Why not? So, yeah. That was the biggest headline we have. And, it's going to be interesting. Who knows what actually happens, but genuinely, especially now it's like a rumor too. Like it's a rumor that Ime Udoka is going to be hired by the Nets. It's a rumor, but it makes sense. I think it makes sense. I really do. So, yeah, let's see how that pans out. Yeah, talking about a little bit of the NBA standings. Right now, Cleveland Cavaliers, they're balling the hell out. Cleveland Cavaliers and Donovan Mitchell are balling the hell out. I always thought Donovan Mitchell was one of the best players right now. Honestly, call me crazy, but I'd actually put Donovan Mitchell over Damian Lillard. I really would. I think Utah was just not it for him, and it's kind of cool to see the Cavaliers doing pretty darn well now. So they're number 2 right now in the East after Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks are 7-0 right now. They're kind of unstoppable. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of called this out a few episodes ago. Very likely that the Bucks are in championship form. But yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers just not far behind at all. They're 6-1. So only difference is they have a difference of 1 loss, So that's really cool to see. Toronto Raptors are surprisingly 5-3, which is 3rd in the Eastern Conference Finals right now, which is kind of cool. But it's because Pascal Siakam has been balling out in Toronto, and that's good to see. And yeah, Utah Jazz, like I told everyone before, Utah Jazz are doing really, really well. Portland Trail Blazers are doing really well. So Jazz is 3rd right now, 3rd seed in West. Trailblazers, Portland, they're 2nd in the West, and Suns are actually surprisingly very good. Like, I feel like a lot of people were like, for this season for the Suns, they were just like expecting them to kind of suck. But no, Suns are actually doing pretty well. So good on the Suns. I think they'll make it into the playoffs, and hopefully this time they'll do better in the playoffs than last year. Stay far away from Luka Doncic, and then you should be good. And what was it? I wanted to talk about one more thing. Oh yeah, this is a little bit concerning, but hey, no one needs to freak out. It's just a little bit concerning. Golden State Warriors are 3-5 right now to start off the season. I don't really know what's going on. I think they were just getting clutched on nowadays. Jordan Poole's been playing really good. I guess not too much of popping off from Steph Curry like we're used to. I think that might be the problem. And I don't know. It's kind of weird. They just lost 3 in a row for some reason, which is kind of weird. So hopefully this is just all cap, and they're kind of just choking it right now, and they know what they're doing wrong. Hopefully they know what the problems are, and they'll just go at it like real champions and make those fixes, make those improvements, and do better, because everybody wants to see Steph Curry do really, really well. So, hell yeah. Good luck to the Warriors. And that's all I have for today. A little shorter of an episode, but like I said, UFC and F1 did not have much to offer this past weekend, and nothing coming up for those two either, so I couldn't be bullshitting too hard for that. Anyways, hope you guys still have a great weekend watching some live broadcasting, because I will certainly be enjoying some live sports broadcasting. And we're balling.